Hey guys, it's ExandShadow, and well, I know it's late, but better late than never. So my Wii games. Let's get started. I'm just gonna go in alphabetical order because that's what I have all the games in. So okay, we'll start first with Active Life Outdoor Challenge. This was a Christmas present to my brothers. It came with some weird DDR mat type thing. Actually, I think I have it over there. You know what? I'm gonna show you it because it's one of the weirdest game peripherals I've ever seen in my life. So, here's the mat, you know. Now, normally you'd think it's just a normal DDR mat, but look at this thing. What the hell? But yeah, that's the Mat to Active Life Outdoor Challenge. My brothers have not played it once, and neither have I, so I doubt it's that good, but hey, the mat's weird at least. But next we got Animal Crossing City Folk. This is a good game. If you like Animal Crossing, I'm not sure how good this Animal Crossing is as opposed to all the other ones, but I was able to play it for 6 months and not get bored, and it probably would have been longer, but at that time my Wii had to be sent in for its disc reader to be fixed. But yeah. Okay, so now we've got Boom Blocks, which is actually a game which was directed by Steven Spielberg. You might think that it sucks, but it's actually an okay party game. My brothers like it a whole lot, but it's decent. Next up, we've got Carnival Games. I haven't really even played this one. I've played some of Boom Blocks, but not really much of Carnival Games. It's not something that we really break out all that much, so yeah. Up next is Cranium Kabuki. Again, this is another one that we sort of got, and I don't even remember where we got it from. I've only played it once, but the one time I did play it, it was okay. It's a weird Mario Party type thing, but for the most part, it's relatively decent. Now we've got The Blob. The Blob's actually a really good game. It's a bit repetitive, but it's good. I like it. You just jump around trying to make everything go from gray to colorful. The music's great. It looks nice. It's a pretty good game. And now, I know that it's not actually in there, but I'm playing this one right now. I also have The Blob 2. I'm still playing through this one, I just got it. I do actually plan on doing an impressions video, because it's a significant upgrade over the original. But for now, I don't have much to say, because I haven't beaten it yet. This is my sister's. I try to pretend that it's not there. Next up, we've got Donkey Kong Country Returns. I am not that big of a fan of this one. It's good, but the problem is that while it tries to be hard, it's not really the fun kind of hard. It's, again, the annoying, cheap kind of hard. I don't like it. There's something about it. The controls don't seem right. For example, I tend to have a lot of problems with my duck button not working. I'm not sure if that's just me, my controller, my copy of the game, but I don't know. Donkey Kong Country Returns didn't sell it for me. Elebits. This was either a launch title or a title that came out close to launch for the Wii. It was a unique concept. You had this gun which could pick up and throw stuff, and then you tried to find these little alien things called Elebits. While it was a neat concept, the problem is that none of the objects felt like they had any weight to them when you picked them up. Like, you could pick up a trash can, and that felt like it would have weighed as much as a pillow, you know? The physics engine needed to be reworked, but in Elebits 2, and not like the one that was on DS, which had nothing to do with Elebits, an actual Elebits 2 might be pretty good. Excite Truck. This was one of the first games out for the Wii, and pretty much it was a game that pretty much just said, hey, you can drive with the Wii remote, and it worked pretty well, though the control was kind of slippery. But the sequel, Excite Bots, is also much, much better. The control's a lot tighter, it's got a lot more personality. It's just a really fun racing game to play. Now, when I did my original review of this a few years ago, I said it was the best racing game I've ever played. And I'm not sure if that's true anymore, because thinking back, I haven't really played enough racing games to make that statement, but it's still a lot of fun, and I still crack it out every once in a while. Now we've got Ghost Squad, which is a port of an arcade game, and well, it's an on-rail shooter, and it's actually a lot of fun. I do enjoy this game quite a lot. It's repetitive, yeah, but whenever my cousin comes over, we play through that, and we have a ton of fun. Speaking of playing games that are a lot of fun, GoldenEye. I really liked GoldenEye. This was the first real first-person shooter I ever played. I had Metroid Prime, but that's not really a first-person shooter in the traditional sense. Now, I did play some of the original N64 GoldenEye, but that was at my cousin's house, so, you know, I haven't really played through it, actually. But this was a lot of fun. The controls are great, you could customize them to any way they want, multiplayer's fun. Now, however, I tried online multiplayer, and I don't see what the big deal is with online multiplayer. You know, I just don't get it, but, yeah. Anyway, now we've got our Guitar Hero games. I've got Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Guitar Hero 3, and Guitar Hero World Tour. They're pretty much all the same game in the end. Out of all of them, my favorite's 3, just because that's the track list I like the best. Now, the thing with Guitar Hero is that it's pretty much just one game, and each time you buy a new game, you're just getting an updated track list. Now, I don't think that's such a bad thing when it comes to something like Guitar Hero as opposed to something like Madden. When you're playing something like Madden, you know, different characters, that's not really that big of a deal because when you're playing them, you're not going to really be able to tell the difference between them except for the number. When you're playing something like Guitar Hero, the songs you're playing are the entire point of the game, so an updated game every year sort of makes sense. Now, Guitar Hero is fun, I'm not going to lie, and I would say that and seeing that the series is now gone, it does kind of make me sad, because, you know, Guitar Hero had a place. You know, it had a place in gaming culture, you know? But, yeah, I did enjoy it while I was into it, I should say. Now I've got Kirby's Epic Yarn. Now, this is a game that my brothers have played a lot more than I have. I've been meaning to play through Kirby's Epic Yarn, but I played the first few stages and it didn't really capture my interest. But that's something that I plan on going back to. Lego Indiana Jones 2. I have not played this one, but I assume it's pretty much the same as Lego Star Wars, so whatever. Lego Rock Band. It's Rock Band with Lego characters. Again, this is another one that my brothers had. I should say that I don't like Rock Band as much as Guitar Hero. If only because of the fucking guitar and how much piece of shit. Anyway, Mario Kart Wii. My least favorite Mario Kart game, with the only one that I like worse, is Double Dash. Now, why do I not like this one? Honestly, it just doesn't capture my interest. First off, the bikes, they're way overpowered, and this is not Mario Bike DS, it's Mario Kart Wii. Not Mario Bike DS, I meant Mario Bike Wii, but whatever. The thing is that it's the stages... The track layouts, I should say. The track layouts themselves just aren't as fun to play through as other games. And also, 4 cups, really? This is the Wii. You could fit like 10. But whatever. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games. They're mini-game collections. It's nice to see Mario and Sonic in the same game. But, Nintendo, Sega, this isn't really what we had in mind. Mario Party 8. It's Mario Party with motion control mini-games. It's not like we haven't had a ton of those already. But yeah. Mario Sports Mix. Again, this is one that's new, and it's another one that my brothers got. From what I've seen, it looks relatively decent, but not much better. Mario Super Strikers. Now, I find the GameCube version of this game a lot better than the Wii version, and I'll tell you why. When you play the Wii version, you swing the Wiimote like a bat in order to hit the ball. Fine, I expected that. However, the problem is that when the game doesn't register that you've swung until after you've swung your arm all the way through. And if you've ever played baseball, you expect like the middle point of the swing to be halfway through you swinging it. It doesn't... It's kind of hard to explain while in words, but let's just say that there's a delay on the controls that really, really bugs me, and it's hard to get used to. I mean, after you get used to it, it's okay, but it's baseball. You shouldn't have to get used to swinging the fucking bat. NASCAR Kart Racing. Again, this is another cheap bargain bin game that my brothers got for a gift, and I haven't even played it. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. This is probably my favorite of the Prime games that I've played, meaning it's my favorite I like it better than Prime 1. This is probably because it's a lot more linear than Prime 1. And again, I'm a fan of linear Metroid. So, that's what I like. The first-person controls work well. This is the first first-person game on the Wii to really work. And so, I believe a lot of other games owe up to Metroid for that. But it's a fun game, and I really like it. Metroid Other M. Ooh. Just saying the words Metroid Other M is just bound to start a flame war. I'm of the opinion that Metroid Other M wasn't that bad, but definitely had problems that it could be fixed. First off, an actual soundtrack would be nice. Second off, getting a few more actors that could actually act would be nice. And third off, while I am a fan of linear Metroid, making it a little bit less, restrictively linear would have been nice. But again, that's just me. Nerf N-Strike. This is another rail shooter type game that's actually relatively decent, even though it looks like a bargain bin game. New Super Mario Bros. Whee! It's a 2D Mario game, nothing new. It's fun, yeah, but it's nothing new and it's nothing that you haven't seen before. I actually prefer the DS version over this, but that's, again, just me. Now we've got Pokepark Wii, which is a Pokemon spin-off, where you pretty much just run around and making friends. It's the video game equivalent of Facebook. My brothers like it, but I tried it and I couldn't really get into it. Punch-Out! Punch-Out. The more I look at it, the less I seem to like it. Punch-Out is a relic. I'm just going to say that right now. Sure, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, when it was on the NES, was a perfectly fine game. But today, I want something more complex than Simon fucking says whenever I play a game. It's all memorization. It's all memorization. There's no substance to it. I don't find it that good of a game, and I have already deleted my previous Let's Play because that was pretty much shit, but as soon as I get the ability to record games on my TV that doesn't suck, I'm going through that game again to explain why I don't like it. Rapalus Fishing Frenzy. God, I have a lot of shovelware on my Wii. This is one that my dad actually bought, and it came with this fucking plastic fishing rod, and that's probably the most useless accessory I've ever seen on the Wii. Yeah, I wouldn't get it. It doesn't look good at all. Red Steel 2. Now, I heard the first Red Steel was shit, so I didn't get that one. But Red Steel 2 is actually a relatively decent game. It's one of the only other games besides Wii Sports Resort that uses the Motion Plus, and it does work. It is fun. I didn't finish the game because I kind of got bored partway through, but but it is fun, and I do recommend giving it a shot at least. It's worth a rental. And now we've got Rock Band. Rock Band and the Country Track Pack that my sister picked up. Rock Band. Now, I do give Rock Band credit for bringing in more than just guitars and bringing in, singing and drums. But for first off, the instrument quality is not nearly as good as the Guitar Hero stuff. The guitars are way worse, and when Guitar Hero released their drums, they were way better than the Rock Band drums. Also, while this version of Rock Band doesn't have the World Tour mode, Rock Band 2 does, I don't think that the World Tour mode works for the audience that these games go for. These are casual games, no doubt about that. So, when you have a casual gamer, all they want to do is just go through and unlock all the songs in order. They don't want to have to futz around with unlocking songs by doing the World Tour mode, and that was something that pissed me off when I was playing Lego Rock Band, because that one has that too. But yeah. Oh, guess who it is? Sonic. He can really move. Sonic. He's got an attitude. Okay, Sonic and the Black Knight. I actually thought that this was a relatively decent game. It's short, yeah. The controls aren't perfect. The sword swinging can sometimes be unresponsive. But if you change your mindset from a Sonic game to a fast-paced beat-em-up-esque game, this game is actually relatively decent, and it's also got some great music, with my favorite being the Great Megalith piece. Now I've got Sonic and the Secret Rings. I have not gone back to play this one in quite some time, but I remember it being decent. Not great, but decent. The on-rails thing does tend to be a pain in the ass, and the control isn't perfect, but I remember it being relatively fun to play. At least relatively. But now I've got Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors. I actually go back to play the challenge mode on this a lot, and it is a good game, I'm not gonna lie, it's a very good game, but my problem is that it's not doing anything new. Sega's finally listened to us by saying go back to when the controls were good. I get it, but now we should really be thinking about steps forward. And mostly the way that I think of that is make the 3D don't suck. I mean, the 3D sections are ultimately almost non-existent in Sonic Colors, but when they are there, Sonic isn't as easy to control in 3D in this game as he is in Sonic Adventure 2 or 1. And that's pretty much because he has to be moving forward in order for the control to work. I don't know, I'd just rather have a slightly slower Sonic that had 3D Sonic. You know, something like Adventure 2 I still think is the pinnacle of 3D Sonic, so I'm hoping for a Sonic Adventure 3, but that's just hoping. Sonic Unleashed. Again, I do like it, but I still just prefer Sonic Adventure 2 when it comes to 3D Sonic stages. The Werehog stuff does tend to drag on way too much, too, so again, it's something that I like, but I'm just not crazy about. Okay, so Super Mario All-Stars. This is the main way that I play the 2D Mario games now, so I guess I'll talk about them. The collection itself is relatively good. You know, I like the box art, but the soundtrack CD and the built-in, booklet are kind of need some stuff to be desired. But anyway, we've got Mario 1, Lost Levels, Mario 2, and Mario 3. Mario 1 is the classic to end all classics, and I like it a lot. Mario 2 The Lost Levels is way too fucking hard, and I'm never gonna bother beating it because, let's just face it, I play games to have fun, not to be frustrated out of my mind. Mario 2, the USA version, is the first 2D Mario game I really played, and I have a soft spot for it. I find it to be a lot of fun, though some people don't really like it, and I can understand that. Mario 3, I still find it highly overrated. I can see where the revolutionariness comes from. I really can, but, you know, just in today's world, I find that the level design isn't as good as some other games. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but I just find that there's some stuff that's better. You know? Okay, but now we're on the last stretch of games. And, well, Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy, I actually prefer to Galaxy 2. I remember the first time I played Super Mario Galaxy, I had an ear-to-ear smile when the first time the gravity really started to kick in, and that was the first time I've done that in a game ever since, like, the N64. It was the first time I've ever had so much fun with a game. And, yeah, I just love it. It's so much fun. Now, Mario Galaxy 2 puts me in a little bit of a predicament, because it puts me on the opposite side of the Banjo-Kazooie Tooie argument that I've always been on. I always said that that the first Banjo-Kazooie game didn't have as good level design as the second one. And now I'm sort of in the same predicament, because Mario Galaxy 2 does have better level design than the first one, but I found the first one more fun to play. So, other than giving me some insight into a completely unrelated series, Mario Galaxy 2 is a good game, but I just didn't have as much fun with it as Galaxy 1. Smash Brothers Brawl. Brawl is a very good party game. It's a good fighting game. I actually like it better than Melee. But other than that, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's Brawl. Everything that could have been said has been said. Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. This was another launch title that I got. The thing about Monkey Ball Banana Blitz is that there's two things that sort of ruin the experience for me, and that's the motion tilting control and the jump button. Now, the problem with the tilt control is that while it works, you can't really set yourself to not move. There's no, you can't just go over the control stick in order to center things, and that makes you a lot more tense, and it makes it a lot easier to mess up. And also, the jump button is also really, really wonky. It doesn't really work the way you'd think it would work, and I just don't think that jumping has anything to do with Monkey Ball, because, let's face it, the times when you were launched into the air by the stage itself were some of the most exhilarating parts of the Monkey Ball series to begin with. But now we've got Super Paper Mario, which I think is a relatively okay game, but not the best in the Paper Mario series, to say the least. Actually, I think it's probably the worst. The thing about Super Paper Mario is that it's trying to be too much. It's trying to be an epic story and a platformer and an RPG all at once, and really the only thing it works on is the story. This is probably one of the best Paper Mario stories out of all of them. You know, the characters are relatable. I'd recommend playing through it, if only one time. Next up, we've got Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. It's a golf game. What do you want me to say about it? But now we've got the Trauma Center games. Now, while New Blood is first alphabetically, I want to talk about them in order, so I'm going to talk about Second Opinion first. Second Opinion is, in my opinion, the best launch title on the Wii. It's a remake of Under the Knife, and if you want to get into the series, I recommend picking up this game first, as opposed to Under the Knife. The control's just way better. I find that using the Wiimote and Nunchuck just gives you faster, more precise control than the touchscreen. The story's good, if a bit silly at times, and the music's pretty awesome too. It's not anything like what you'd expect if you were just thinking you were going to operate on people, but it's good. I really like this game series. But now we've got Trauma Center New Blood, which is probably the best out of all the Wii Trauma Center games. The thing about New Blood that makes it the best is just that they upgrade on a few of the things that Second Opinion was missing. For the first part, there's actual voice acting in the game, which is good because reading text on screen is something that you really thought that you would be doing in 2001 as opposed to 2006. Also, the operations are a lot more varied, and it just feels right playing this game. This is a lot of fun to play. It's also got a co-op mode, too, which is pretty fun. But, yeah. Now we've got Trauma Team. Trauma Team, the problem with Trauma Team that I find is that it suffers the SA1 problem of having too many different game modes. Now, the surgery sections in this game are probably the best designed surgery sections. Like, they completely overhauled it and it works really great. But seeing as there's only like 7 of them, you don't really get into the really hard stuff, so I still think that New Blood does better at normal surgery. There's also orthopedics and first response, which are pretty much just different takes on the surgery genre, which work fine. And I hope that when they go back to a new Trauma Center game, that they just integrate those two things into the main surgery portion. And then next there's endoscopy, which is in my opinion the least fun out of all of them. It's just not that fun to go through, you know. It's just, it doesn't really work. Then you've got diagnostics and forensics, which both work sort of like point-and-click adventure games. And while they're fun, they don't really have anything to do with Trauma Center. So while it was a nice diversion, I hope that that sort of becomes its own game and that Trauma Center itself gets left to do Trauma Center-y type things. The story in this one is probably the best out of all of them for a lot of reasons that would be spoilers. But yeah, I really do like Trauma Team, but New Blood just wins out just because it's more focused. Wii Fit. This is the only game that works for my balance board, and while the balance board does work, it seems like kind of an unnecessary peripheral. If you are actually using it for weight loss, it's a good weight loss companion, I would say, but it's not something that will actually make you lose 20 pounds, you know? Wii Play. This is getting a sequel, which is weird. But yeah, Wii Play. It's a minigame collection. Out of all of them, the only one that I ever went back to really play was Tanks, but it's still fun. Wii Sports Resort. Again, this is a tech demo for the Motion Plus, and it does work. The Motion Plus does work, and these games are pretty fun, though it's, again, not something that I go back to all the time, so, nah. Next up, we've got Link's Crossbow Training. This game with my Wii Zapper, and I really do like it. This is probably the best Zelda game I've ever played. I just pissed off so many people. But, yeah, this is a fun game which was trying to show off the Zapper. The Zapper's okay. A lot of people don't like it. I find it tolerable. I usually tend to use it in any game that supports it, except for GoldenEye. I just went standard for GoldenEye. But it is fun. And last is Wii Sports. It's Wii Sports. Everyone's played it. It's the best-selling game in the world right now. So, it's Wii Sports. But yeah, those are my Wii games. I hope you enjoyed this overly long me talking about all of my games. But yeah, I'm gonna get this up for you guys. I'm ExandShadow. I'll see you guys later.